Do anybody really know who we are?
Hey.
Hey, Nicholas.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you? That was a badass intro.
That was a
Did
fun
I
one.
take it?
That one came together super quick too.
Did it?
Sometimes they do like that. That one literally probably took not
It
even
just
5
depends.
minutes. It was.
Wow.
I know.
That's awesome. Don't brag or anything.
I'm just saying that's how electronic music is. So anybody out there is a DJ, go fuck yourself. It's a lot harder to play an instrument.
Just like last night, I wasn't feeling my drawings at all, like my doodles.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've been waiting till the last day to actually draw, but it is what it is. So Rachel's like, here, I'll do something. So I gave her, I'll put it up on the Instagram later, but I gave her the pad and she doodled something down.
Do you set the day for like when you're gonna doodle? Is it just like on your to-do list for the week?
It's on my to-do list for the week.
Yeah.
But I always wait till the last day. I don't know why.
I feel like I've been making mine on Sundays, the beats.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Sometimes on Sundays, that's when we kind of like meet up and talk about what we're gonna discuss this week. So that could be it.
And talking about that,
Mm-hmm.
we totally had a different episode planned today.
That's true.
Yeah.
And last week, too, it's like our show will just be the second choice.
The second
guests.
choice, yeah.
So instead, we have a video camera
B-list
instead.
guests. Oh yeah. Welcome.
Don't pay attention to it. Now we have to think two things to try to avoid.
We're subjecting ourselves to more ridicule. That's what we're doing.
That's also true. Or it's just harder to like get into the zone too. It's like, all right, forget there's a microphone now. Forget there's a camera too.
Yeah.
Well, a studio audience very soon. That's definitely
Applause. It's gonna be fun, man. I know.
It's still nerve-wracking sometimes for me.
For sure.
Today's. So I don't know. Yeah, we were
we were supposed to have our buddy Jacob on.
Yeah.
But he couldn't switch his schedule around, so obviously we're not that important.
Typical. I think he said he's coming next week. So
Next week, we're shooting for next week.
Should be a psychedelic conversation.
Ooh, just a little glimpse into next week.
Yeah. How many days do we have left of this little bargaining thing? Yeah,
Six more days.
I kind of like got my days a little mixed up, which I guess is good because I'm kind of like counting it the same way as I was before. I
realized that too.
But I have found myself wanting, like the other night, I was like, I think what I realized about drinking is I miss just unwinding, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely like a venting process.
It's just like there's some days I'm just like I want a couple beers just to like stop thinking.
Yeah.
And obviously there's something. It's bad if you go into that zone too often, which is what I was doing, which is why we did this whole 30-day thing. But there's sometimes I'm just like, God damn, dude, I just want to like fucking relax, and it really helps me.
2-3 beers, kick back on the couch.
Yeah, which speaks volume to like marijuana, for example, because I'm a very avid smoker, but like that doesn't like there's no fulfillment in this weird like getting fucked up thing that people may perceive it as. Like I use it as a very like. I hate to say like medicinal
yeah no you
it
do.
is a very medicinal like I'm not trying to get stoned or anything, just like enough to take off the edge where I'm like I feel like a little finer tuned in a way, but yeah, like
taking that limitless pill.
You're right.
That was a really good movie, dude.
And
the show wasn't too bad either. Actually,
I hate when they make.
It wasn't bad at all.
No?
No. And then
it wasn't bad at all, folks.
It wasn't.
It's
Yeah,
like great
reviews.
Wasn't bad.
What was his name? Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the show briefly, I believe.
Oh, in both?
Yeah.
And it was just the same, like you take this pill and then anything.
Kind of. Yeah.
Would you take that pill?
I think I would.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Does it do anything bad to you? I can't remember.
What was the side effect?
Does it shrink your penis or something?
Probably. Some steroid type shit.
Damn it!
Even more?
Yeah. The testicles are just squeezing all the way. I'm like, ugh.
Little racist.
Limitless. Yeah.
I can tell you anything, but my balls
But my balls.
tiny.
But I feel great.
No, I don't know. It'd be an interesting pill to take.
That would be an interesting pill to take. It's like Viagra for the soul.
The mind.
For the mind, body, and soul.
Yeah. Did you see that video I sent you? The two fucking monkeys.
The two fucking monkeys?
The two monkeys fucking? No.
Yeah, I love that video. That was a great video. Yeah, I did. It was
The cloning,
yeah.
those two fucking monkeys that are
The
clones.
first
dude.
clones of
Yeah.
monkeys, and they're gonna start doing some science on them. It's
I wonder,
crazy.
I wonder, like, what the health, how their health is going to play out within the next, like, 5 years or something, you know? Because
Yeah.
are they, like, I don't know, if they clone humans, like, are they human?
Right. That's a great debate to have. Well, the first, so like a sheep, I think it was that video too. It was like,
Yeah, like
and
20 years ago,
and I
like,
remember
right?
kind of
Yeah.
hearing about that and just kind of being like, oh, that's weird. Like I think I was pretty young.
Yeah, I was pretty young.
I think like I was still watching Lamb Chop and shit. And you know the puppet. Did you ever watch that? So I was like, oh, they made another lamb. You never
I'm
watched
not
that?
white, bro.
No, that's true. Anyways, yeah. So it was a fantastic show. Absolutely amazing. But anyways,
Lamb
like
Chop.
anyway, but so yeah, I remember they like I was like, oh, that's strange, and then them kind of talking about like, what about cloning humans? And then just I kind of remember thinking like, oh, that's gonna be so far off.
Yeah.
Like I can't even think about that. And then that video was just it's strange, just like seeing those two monkeys and like kind of like you said, of just it's like a real.
Is
thing.
it real? Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Physically,
It looks smiling, laughing,
yeah,
playing
like a normal, and it's growing like
Mhm.
at the same rate a regular.
Yeah. Does it have a conscience?
It should, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. See, I was thinking like we've seen this play out in so many shows too, like
Oh yeah.
where we do clone humans and only the rich and powerful fucking get to really have them, and then everybody else just keeps dying while they live forever.
They like take their body parts or like
Right,
organs
yeah,
to kind
yeah.
of harvest for their own body.
Yeah, that's
It's crazy. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna happen inevitably. It's funny. They're like they have no plans to clone humans. Like, okay, motherfuckers.
Bullshit,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't. Or
yeah.
somebody.
Did you have plans to clone these fucking monkeys?
It's like so you're using these monkeys to try to learn about diseases and how to cure them, and you want the best prototype.
Why do they go
of what-
primate? Like,
so it's
what
like
do
why? So obviously you're like, if you want a better test subject, anyways. Like I do agree with the science of that too. If you're making a test animal to test things on. Obviously a human would be the best thing to use, but it's that conversation of is it human or is it like
PETA would still go crazy.
like
bro.
does it? Oh yeah, for sure. Does it have a soul or a spirit?
That's interesting.
Does it? Do you think it?
I don't
do you
think it does.
You don't think so? So you don't think?
I don't think
So you don't
they
think
do.
those monkeys would have like a soul or a spirit? Like, do you think okay, before the clones of an animal, do you think Noki over there has like?
Oh yeah, like, but I don't know. Is a clone like?
Do they get that?
Is it does that transfer over to everything else transfers? I don't know, bro.
So do you think?
Who the fuck
don't
am
know.
I? I don't know. I'm nobody to fucking. I don't know anything about the subject, but fuck.
That's our specialty, not knowing anything about subjects.
That's true, yeah.
And I'm the hard facts.
And you're the
guy.
hard facts guy. I don't know if that would transfer over. I think it would, but
To a human, not for a monkey.
no, both.
So you think there is some kind of like?
There has to be some kind of consciousness.
Does there have
but
to
it's,
be? If you're cloning something and you're creating something, because then if you're bullying,
But it's a matter of how we perceive it, like not us clone or not the
it's still,
us humans. It's
Right.
it's how we look at it. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like it's if we look at them as clones or if we look at them as having consciousness, because then you can like still harvest, or you can't harvest organs from them if you think they're a living person too.
That's the right,
You know?
exactly. And then that's when stepping down from there to the monkeys. That's like the whole PETA thing too. It's like it is fucked up.
Right.
You're creating something and keeping it in a cage and giving it deadly fucking diseases
Yeah.
to study it. So I don't know if there's a right or wrong way of that. But the thing that's where I started going. I was like, okay, humans, and then if does this clone have a soul, spirit, some kind of. And I think what you said about do you relate to it, like it's still eating, sleeping, doing all these things where it's like it's something, so it has human rights in that sense, right? It's like it's a creation,
Right.
It's a creation of God if we're and if it's a continuation, right? I mean, it's all.
I guess.
It's like a weird form of evolution. It's how we're evolving as a species
Right.
and be evolving into clones and to programming consciousnesses and
Immortality is the next step, I guess.
Yeah, but then it's like, so if it has a soul or doesn't have a soul, it'd be interesting. Like, so if it's a super smart robot and you're talking to it, it's like, dude, like, Pedro, do you have a soul? Like, and even I can even have this conversation with you. Like, do you have this? Because I don't really know what's behind your eye. Like, I don't know, like, the inside of your, like, what you're seeing out of or how you interpret
how I
everything.
perceive,
It's all completely different. How I process things. So, like, a soul and a spirit is also subjective in that way of what it can actually mean or what actually it does. But it's interesting to be like, hey, robot, like, do you? And then it's like, I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
But then he would never have anything to compare it to. It's like color blindness or something, where it's like, if you always see blue and you always see that color as blue, we don't know that we both see the same blue.
I thought it was green.
We just know, but even if, because you're still trained that this is blue. So even if it looks green to you, green would be blue.
Yeah.
So
if
like,
you're colorblind.
Because you're trained your whole life.
Yeah.
But even if you're not colorblind, if you're color like spectrum and it's like completely different, everybody's is like a realm of different. Like everybody sees color a little bit. It's like those black and gold or blue, like those dress shit.
Yeah.
So it's like all of a sudden you kind of like see how we shift because we all say this is one way, but we only say it's all that way because we're all like programmed in this way by language, which is like the shackles of language, which is kind of interesting.
You boil that down.
Which is also another thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, because I do feel like language has been very like dissected lately of like offending people, hurting people,
right.
Things, and it is a weird sense of I think it's just because I'm listening to a lot of like that one conspiracy podcast just starts getting me like going with like these government things, which I just think is interesting because we talked about last week Fahrenheit 451, like taking books away, so then people aren't expanding their minds and learning more or like reinterpreting things differently than how they want us to see things. So when you start taking words out and start like getting it like lower and lower and saying this is restricted, it's almost like both sides are working for the same strings to try to like keep kind of like confining us in a weird way, like shackling us by a language, as I just said. I don't know.
That's interesting.
that's
hella
strange rant.
Yeah. We went from
speaking of monkeys. Well, that's where my brain went. Like,
no, for sure. That's what this is all about too. Like,
yeah, it's
what's that tinfoil hat you listen to?
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah, it's a good show. I just like enough of those conspiracies to kind of like question things that you are fed, because I think sometimes even I was getting a little guilty of that, of like being very drawn into news and constantly reading all the news that I'm fed, and a lot of times that's not always real news. I mean, fake news, people.
Yeah.
But not even in that way. I'm saying
turn off the news.
I'm saying
and
read some shit, like read the journalists that are going to places and like kind of doing that self-exploratory journalism, which we're losing. It's all like clickbait right now.
That's very true.
So you're not questioning things that we're told. We're just saying, oh, okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then we're fighting over hot button issues, which I feel like we've been doing for a long time. It's like things with gay marriage or abortion. Like we're having those conversations. Like that was back with Obama, like 8 years ago. A lot of people complain about Hillary Clinton, like, was still opposed to gay marriage for a super long time too. It's we're like, our society is still so far behind that we're like talking about basic human right things like that, which I think is kind of funny. We get so hung up on should gay people get married or this. It's like, all right, that's important, and you should, like, can't we just say yes? This is America. Like that was what we were founded on. Like everybody's
country. Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want. Can we pay attention to us like bombing innocent countries or people like genocide happening in other places? We're so focused on this.
Don't even go so far. Flint, Michigan, fix their water.
Right.
Bro.
The small. Chicago has thousands of murders a year. I mean. Right.
That's insane too.
I heard on that podcast we were talking about like yesterday, Abby Martin, who's like a huge, like kind of a conspiracy. She's not really a conspiracy person actually. She's a journalist, and she was bringing up how like we always get distracted by other things. And she said that every year 3 times as many infants die in like third world countries as in the Holocaust. So like, and that's every year. So like we're having like mass deaths, like things like that happening everywhere, and
it's sticking to Trump being shoved down our fucking
or like his tweets or something. You know, it's we're like, why are you're distracted by so much bullshit? And what's funny is like I get fed into it in a way too.
And that's all that Facebook news too, you know. I'm guilty of it. I'll go, but if I find something interesting, I'll do the research and I'll track it to a main page or to something that is you can hold accountable for, that you trust in. I guess you would say, if there is such.
I don't know if there is something to trust in. I think it's just reading as much as you can, and also keeping your eyes open to every single outlet.
Yeah.
Because if you boil it down to what like cable or TV is, it's like what 5, 2, 3, 4 fucking companies that run everything.
Right.
Like they have an agenda. Like they obviously have money in the government. They have money in like gasoline, plastic. Everything is going to boil down to that in some sense too. Like it's not necessarily to give you the right news. It's to like kind of convey the message a certain way. But speaking of like on the phone, like kind of force feeding yourself like a lot of that bullshit. Like I've caught myself being on my phone way too much again. I don't know. I slip back into it sometimes. It's frustrating. It's hard with like the podcast, with music, and like self-promoting, trying to like get that. How do you balance it?
That's the tool aspect, I feel like.
Yeah, I know.
But I guess like within that tool aspect, you just catch yourself scrolling sometimes.
You get addicted to the likes sometimes too. Like you're like, why didn't it like, oh, I want to get like, dude, let's see how it did. Like, did people respond well? And it's like, does it really change what you're putting out there? It doesn't.
I've like written out so many, and I've stopped myself from doing this, but I've written out so many messages, or like my, how do you feel, or what do you think? What does that ask you on your Facebook when you're like trying to update your status? I don't know. It's like asking like, how do you feel, or
I don't know. I think I've never really paid attention to those.
Anyways, I start typing something out and I'm like, this is how I feel. And then I think about it, or I thought about it. Yeah. Now I'll just post it, because that's that ego aspect that you're working with.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
And I've forced myself, fuck it, just post it, But I've deleted like so many, funny, stupid shit that I thought was hilarious. Like, I don't care. And I laugh at myself way too much. I totally do this, But that's that whole ego concept that you have to let go to a certain extent,
That's funny. I've never thought about it like that. Like as you're posting, that is feeding your, because like, okay.
Well, that's what the likes are, dude. That's like
or
that
what
validation.
You're about to post, or your jokes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've done that too, where I'm like, write something, I'm laughing, I'm like, but
it's like people that think I'm stupid, or
I don't know, but just got to be like, just throw it. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's what this is, and that's what kind of makes it fun, or makes it authentic in that way. Right. Keep the free form conversation.
We talked about this earlier too.
You can't we have nothing to hide behind right here. Like there's no planning or script. Like you can't. So it's
and I mean, I got my notes over here. Now that we have video, you might be able to see. But I haven't really looked down at them. Yeah, it's like anything that I wrote down on there, I'm already kind of talking about.
Right. I mean, I guess you can't you definitely can't sculpt a fake, like a false image of yourself on a podcast.
Well,
or
that's like the fake news. Like that's all scripted. Like, that's why that looks all. Like,
how many takes?
And today on,
weather.
Take it over to John to sports.
Well, there has been crazy, like fucking fires, dude.
Bro, have you seen all these trees down?
Yeah, I was driving home and I got caught in it bad, and there's trees everywhere.
There's literally trees everywhere.
There's trees everywhere
on the ground. Is what we mean.
But we don't have it too bad, to be honest. I mean, if that's the worst thing that Arizona gets, like California.
I'm talking about local. You went.
Yeah. Well, you keep on seeing forest fires in California. It's crazy. They keep happening. It's so scary.
I kind of glimpsed over a couple articles, but...
Yeah, it's just like death toll. You're like, man.
I mean, what are we going to do about it? There's nothing...
Fight fires, man. I was a pyro when I was a kid.
How are we going to do that? Us personally, like, how... Yeah. We're not going to drive out there, like...
Why not? I'm off today.
Yeah, I'm off today, too. Take about...
Get some of that California kush.
That's funny, man.
Can we putting out fires here or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's putting them out?
I don't know. Who knows? Everybody.
I'm just saying, stay local.
Yeah.
How's your week been? You told me it was a little long.
It's just been busy. Just a lot of, we're gearing up for our release show for the band, so it's like all that promotion stuff, like music video, a little photo shoot, stuff like that.
Los Edisons.
like still always riding, so
Yeah.
it just sometimes it's sometimes it gets overwhelming. Yeah, then like like working out, yoga, all that kind of stuff. It's like you have to stay on this schedule, and it's something that I noticed. It was like that Monday night when we were just talking about not drinking, and I was like looking back at my week, like every day felt like such a grind. But then like we get here, and it's kind of this nice recap. Then after this, it's like gonna be such an exhale to be like.
It's like a de-stressor, like being forced to talk like this and about the week or about how we're dealing with the 24 days, and not vaping or not drinking not drinking.
But also just scheduling your life out in that way where you can like kind of schedule it. Then like you get that kind of times where you can really exhale. And then as you're exhaling, you can like look back and be really proud of.
Yeah, you feel good. It makes you feel,
yeah, which it's like during the time, it's like, God damn it, another day I need to do this and have like put. It just.
I don't know what was going on with me last night, dude. I was trying to do the little drawing, which I did a little doodle, just a half-assed.
Yeah.
And then I sat down and tried to write, and I was just like, I don't know where I'm going with this story. I'm not sure if I particularly like the situation I put the protagonist in, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have deadlines for writing?
I don't.
Do you feel like you should?
I think
you should.
I think that would help, actually. I've never thought about that. That's a good idea.
I think like, and honestly, just being like, dude, like just leeching off the 30 day, like be like, in 30 days I'm gonna post a short story or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 2 months.
That's a good idea.
It's like I would set a date for yourself.
Yeah,
because writers do that anyways, and they get forced by their publishers.
That's true.
When they used to have them, be like, you have this much money, and I need 2 chapters by the end of the week or something.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the whole ego thing, like how much of your ego is fed into that. Like being like, this is gonna people are like, and to be honest with you, like your first story, like a lot of people probably aren't gonna read. So it's like with the podcast,
it's probably gonna be shit
too.
Yeah,
and that's with music and everything too. I remember like reading like tips for like highly efficient musicians. It's like just write a verse, write a chorus, and call it a song, and call it good, and move on to the next one. So it's like just enough of like making. So I was like, there's a while where I used to just I forced myself to write a song every week. No matter how good or bad it was, like I would just force myself to do that. Now I try to get like 3 to 5 like samples because we just write differently as a band. But I think having those really tough.
Well, I mean that's kind of what you're doing with the intros. Like the intros you're doing weekly, and you're forcing yourself to do that.
And it stretches this fun little part of my brain of melodies and little things that like I normally wouldn't really fuck with. And so it's probably it's beneficial in
for sure.
some other spectrums.
Yeah.
But I mean the podcast is that same thing too. I mean. If we didn't set... Oh, what was that?
Oh, what was that?
That was really strange. Was it the camera?
Was it the camera?
It sounded like it.
What happened? Give us a moment, folks.
See.
Give us a moment.
I don't know.
Is it still recording?
I don't know. D.A.R.E. Well, we tried.
The camera's out!
We really
get the first
really
20
tried.
minutes of it.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder why that happened. What are we talking about?
God damn it, Quantum Kush.
Strawberry Cough.
Strawberry Cough.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Just won the Cannabis Cup in Arizona, which Stoner told me doesn't mean anything because I guess there's only one, like,
Who told you this?
I'm not going to say any names.
Oh, okay.
But he told me there's like High Times has one, like they have a cup every year, and that's the only one because they actually like truly test all the things. Like Arizona dispensaries, they don't test the products the same way.
Wonderful.
It's so stupid. It's like it's so fucking crazy how many. It's like they put regulations on things, and they put regulations to hurt the users. And it's so ridiculous. It's like, why are you always just trying to hurt or fuck people? Like, just who cares? Like. It's crazy the amount.
Let people be, man.
It's the crazy the amount of it's always a high-strung, high energy, like super rich. It feels like always a super rich, highly efficient people that are like always so like pissed off by people that are just like taking it easy or just like finding a different way than the way that they're on. It's
because
like,
we were like forced in high school, like college. They never told us about trade schools. They never like mentioned any of that. That thing's huge. That's the future. I feel like, dude.
It should be.
It should be.
It should be for sure.
you need your really smart people that do go to like those schools or do go to college. But for some people, it's not going to be that way. They'd rather get into a line of job, which is kind of like what I did. I've been bouncing back and forth, honestly. And I enjoy it. I've learned many things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've...
A Pedro of all trades.
A Pedro of all trades.
Yeah.
That's a good company name.
Pedro of all trades. What do you do? Anything you want to say. You name it. I name the price.
What did I turn gangster? Mm-hmm. Am I gangster in your eyes?
Is
that how you perceive
anything
me?
You want. It's I see the darker skin, and that's just where my brain goes straight to.
And you like picture the bandana across.
Wait, there's no bandana. What's interesting, like, so trade schools and teaching kids, but like trade schools too, are like those jobs are kind of like factory jobs and industrial jobs are going to be all replaced by robots and clones of humans.
Whoa, clones.
Yeah, I mean, if you train you're going to dress up the robot.
That's us
like
looking at them as humans, right? Are we giving them a life or is it slavery?
That's true, because I guess, so it's like if you're, it's not really a robot. See, those are two different things. A clone and a robot are
way different.
And then I think sometimes when you think about cloning somebody and you're creating this thing out of a petri dish, that you're getting a robot, but you're not programming anything into it. So that, I'm just very interested, like what the human would be that comes out of that situation. Just what, and we're going back, because it's very, like, I love.
No, it is
a
very interesting conversation,
and
for sure.
It's, I mean, and then it's also, it's dangerous in the same way too, where it's like, did you ever watch the horror movie 28 Days Later?
A long time ago.
And it's like a PETA group freeing these chimpanzees that had this deadly virus then they got released, and then that's how the zombie like apocalypse broke out. But there is probably something bad about like just infecting like animals and things and creatures, especially, I mean, if we're saying a monkey is so similar to us that we can give it all kind of cancer, all kinds of diseases, it's probable if a human's going to have a conscious or have a spirit or soul and we create it, that monkey is the same thing. And that's like, I mean, that's obviously PETA's argument, but that's very true. So it is pretty like maniacal to be fucking up these creatures' lives and just giving it this like deadly
I thought about it too, like, does a clone grow, or is it just like, say you're cloned at 28?
I think so.
And it's just another 28-year-old you, or does it grow like as
I'd imagine,
a baby?
I'd imagine you like it'd be like creating.
That's not just like
like. Yeah, no, I think because you're duplicating the cells,
right?
So
it would
I imagine
grow.
they're like probably have. Again, we know nothing about this. I'm sure we can figure it out. But I'm sure they create some kind of womb-like environment that's almost just like a box where they inject the eggs, and some doctor like puts it's like a glory hole, like science rules.
Like a flashlight. It's a flashlight leading into this womb. God, that's
why
gross.
are we doing it this way? Let me do my experiment.
I'm the doctor here.
More lube.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
And we created a little human.
Aww. That wouldn't be cloning though. That'd just be like inseminating.
That's true. Yeah, that'd be completely different.
But it's a good. You know,
well, that's how you get the cells that you would clone.
Oh, okay.
Because you're
that's a wicked
I'm like, yeah,
doctor.
where how did we get to that? Like, yeah, okay, that's what it would be.
It's a wicked doctor.
Yeah, you'd be like doubling whatever, because that's
unorthodox method.
I wish they said that in the monkeys too, like how they got like maybe they didn't say anything. It's just like it was more,
that's the big secret, man.
That's true. I guess they're not gonna like tell you the whole like. First, this is what
first you extract.
You go to the Phoenix Zoo, steal 2 baby chimps, and say you cloned them.
Throw a video of online.
And now all of a sudden,
you know.
And now all of a sudden, your research center gets $2 million a year. Wait, would that work?
Maybe. Why the fuck have we thought about it?
Shouldn't have said that out loud. 2 podcasters caught stealing baby monkeys. They would have got away.
Are we podcasters? I guess we would be podcasters.
I mean, that's what we're doing, right?
I guess.
When you're jerking off, are you masturbating?
Are you a masturbator? I wasn't gonna go to that level, but I was gonna say, I mean, even if we're unpublished writers, we're writers.
That's true.
Or I'm unpublished. You're.
It's kind of crazy. It's really starting to feel really rewarding.
Good, man.
Finally, which is cool.
awesome.
Which is cool. But yeah, well, dude, you got to start putting some shit out there, man.
Why not?
I think this is a cool little way to kind of keep you true to it. Yeah.
For sure.
Man. My chair was like slipping.
Are you okay?
I think it's the strawberry cough. It's like I'm like sinking. Remember those old like marijuana commercials where she's like,
get off the couch. The dog's talking to her.
Was nobody on those commercials? Did like nobody ever smoke weed that was like part of those? Like,
you know, the camera guy's like, this is gonna be fucking great because he's baked out of his mind.
Yeah, it's like these people clearly never smoked weed before. Like, what the? Just sinking into the like this is meth.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if that's
heroin,
true.
dude.
They're like, yeah, that's definitely not marijuana that you're like.
Shut up.
Yeah. I know. I remember like it was like drugs and stuff like that. Like you see.
You remember the D.A.R.E commercials too?
Not really. I remember. No. I just remember the tag D.A.R.E. And
did they ever go to your class and like do those like speeches?
I think the drugs just washed away those memories. I don't know. I'm sure they did. Like everything seems.
I remember that. I was totally into D.A.R.E, dude, in like the 5th grade, 6th grade.
You're totally into it. Like
I was like, yeah, no drugs. And then middle school came around, and I was like, try it out.
What? So D.A.R.E was like D.A.R.E. What does it say? What's the anagram for?
I think the drugs washed that memory out.
Damn it!
No, D.A.R.E. Why don't we fucking
dare to keep?
Why don't we look this up really quick, huh?
People are their listeners like, you guys are so
you guys are idiots. What a dare.
Like 20 minutes ago on the podcast, I'm like, weed doesn't really do anything. I'm just like, I don't remember any of my memories. How did I get here?
Drugs are really expensive. I think that's a parody.
That's true. Let's stick with that. Dare to drugs are really expensive, kids.
Really
Jobs
expensive.
don't pay very good. Go to get a nice trade school job so you're making a little bit extra. You're living paycheck to paycheck, but you're self-medicating enough to really help you get out.
Yeah, fucking God. Jesus.
Yeah. But that was what I was gonna say. Like for the kids of like thinking, before I smoked or anything, and you see these movies and you see like how they like make it like visually like you smoking pot or whatever, and it's like I had my ideas were so drastically different than like when I smoked. I was like, oh, this isn't what I imagined.
Same, and that's why
what they told me.
That's why I think I don't know.
Started questioning like what they're.
Yeah, because I'd have buddies, that would smoke, and they'd offer me all the time. I'm like, not for me, man. I'll hang out, but. Yeah. And then one day I just did. And
then here you are.
But then I didn't do it again till I smoked a couple times in middle school, and then I didn't do it again till junior year of high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With another buddy that was still a really good friend, actually. Still is a really good friend.
I didn't smoke any of junior high school. I think I was like 20.
Yeah.
When I smoked for the first time. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I just didn't really care to. I didn't drink either until I was like 20, so I'm catching up on that too. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't. I just didn't.
I didn't. Then I was legally drink till 21.
Then I was like dating this girl that really enjoyed it, and then
weed.
So, yeah. So I did it a couple times with her, but I never really enjoyed it. I just kind of like did it because, I wanted to hang out with her, and like if she enjoyed it, so we just kind of did. Then it wasn't until like I don't know.
You can't really force it on anyone.
But it just kept doing it.
You didn't. She didn't force it on you.
No, I just was
you just wanted.
I think I just kind of played along with it too, because it's like goes to the things with like who my favorite like writers were, musicians, or like you're hearing about them always talking about these things. So you're like, well, fuck, I need to get these experiences too. And it's
maybe that's a good thing because like your mind isn't fully developed yet.
That's what they say, like 26 or something.
Yeah.
That's what they say to start doing, and I would say like. I've had very beneficial things from doing drugs though, and trying like, and even from smoking weed. 'Cause I think it's almost coming out the other side of it, 'cause then you can kind of see perspectives in a different way.
Definitely.
Yeah. But like with anything, you can definitely overdo it and overindulge, and you can
yeah,
get
just
way
like-
too fucking high and just be stupid and useless. And credit to the commercials we were just making fun of. Like you can't.
But that's discipline. Like if you let yourself get to that level, that will happen. You know.
Yeah.
It's a matter of who you are as a person and really who you think you are.
Whoa! Full circle.
Bam! I think we can put a cap on that one.
Podcast is over. We're not doing it anymore, you guys.
Yeah,
We ended it on the perfect note.
We've come to the end. That's all, folks.
Oh, that was a really okay.
Oh, wait.